promoting the vision of ordinary legends. Tune into 2020 Vision Radio every Wednesday night at 8 p.m. with the Honorable Cleon Stapleton Simmons and Desil Hamilton.
Legendary is a show promoting the visions of ordinary legends, and I am Honorable Cleo Stapleton Simmons along with my fabulous co-host Desil Hamilton.
I am Desil Hamilton. I'm excited as well to be here for Legendary, just to uplift and enhance people and show what people in our society are doing to uplift our country and the nation.
Call in live on WhatsApp via 869-669-7312. Our direct mobile number is 766-7312 and our landline number is 469-7953. Overseas callers can call in on 917-460-2187. Legendary. Live every Wednesday at 8 p.m. on 2020 Vision Radio.
Just like you. If you take a look inside, you see the great things that people do. Some things are just never said, no. Story of my life, ordinary person just like you. If you take a look inside, see the great things that people do. Changing lives day and night, but nothing I do ever makes the news. Still I have to do what's right, to the King of all kings all praise is due. Yesterday I was on a train, a little boy asked me my name. He said, sir, I've seen you before, tell me who are you? Said I am a legend that you never heard of before. I said I am a lion, but you never heard me roar. I am a hero that nobody celebrates, but if one person remembers my name, that means I made a change. I'm the man who cooks the food and feed the street people in the afternoon. I'm the lady with the broom, sweeping the halls of your son's preschool. I'm the soldier who's up all night, making sure everything's alright. And if you ask me, I'm quite fine, being an ordinary person doing what's right. Yesterday at the football game, a little girl asked me my name. She said, sir, I've seen you before, tell me who are you? I said I am a legend that you never heard of before. I said I am a lion, but you never heard me roar. I am a hero that nobody celebrates, but if one person remembers my name, that means on the ocean of fame I'm an unknown sailor. I'm the percussionist playing with the wailers, the one with the shaker, the mover and shaker. My name wasn't on the front of the paper, but me not cater. Much more than the worker is greater. Creation glorifies creator. So all deeds done are in the name of my maker. I am a legend that you probably never hear about. Words from the lion's mouth. I am a hero that nobody celebrates, but if one person remembers my name, give praise, that means I made a change. Story of my life. Some things are just never said, no. person just like you. If you take a look inside, see the great things that people do. Changing lives day and night, but nothing I do ever makes the news. Still I have to do what's right, to the King of all kings all praise is due. Yesterday I was on a train, a little boy asked me my name. He said, sir, I've seen you before, tell me who are you? Said I am a legend that you never heard of before. I said I am a lion, but you never heard me roar. I am a hero that nobody celebrates. But if one person remembers my name, that means I made a change. I'm the man who cooks the food and feed the street people in the afternoon. I'm the lady with the broom, sweeping the halls of your son's preschool. I'm the soldier who's up all night, making sure everything's alright. And if you ask me, I'm quite fine, being an ordinary person doing what's right. Yesterday at the football game, a little girl asked me my name. She said, sir, I've seen you before, tell me who are you? I said I am a legend that you never heard of before. I said I am a lion, but you never heard me roar. I am a hero that nobody celebrates. But if one person remembers my name, that means on the ocean.
Okay, welcome to another edition of Legendary. It's April 21st, and you're here with me, Dacosta Hamilton, one of your hosts in the studio. And we have DJ X-Ray Bartlett here chilling with us until the Honorable Cleon Stapleton Simon comes in, and our second guest. We have with us right now in the studio, we have Roddena. That's correct? Roddena. Okay, Roddena Dacosta. Sometimes I'm bad with names, so I start to make sure I ask first. So we have Roddena Dacosta, and then we have Miss Tyson joining us just a bit later. Shai-Ann Tyson. So yeah, Shai-Ann. I don't think I could mess up that one there. Look like very straightforward. I'm hoping that everyone's been having a good week. So far, it's April. I'm hoping that everyone is getting up, going out, doing what they have to do. You know, it's COVID-19 is still around, and it's not looking like it's going away anytime soon. We have our vaccination program running right now in the Federation. So go out, get vaxxed, get the place back to how it was. I don't like to say back to normal, because what is normal? Because I mean, there are a lot of people out there who weren't doing anything different to what they're doing now, when it was normal, you know. So I don't want to say back to normal, but there are a lot of other people. There are a lot of additional people who are under some seriously heavy circumstances due to the pandemic. So we want to help those get back to a state where they can provide for themselves just a little bit better, and you know, contribute to the community and the society at large. Yeah, so we're gonna jump straight into Roddena's profile. I'll read Shia's when she gets in. Hopefully that's sometime soon. The island runs on Caribbean time. So she's gonna be here. All right, so Roddena Dacosta, she's one of the 25 most remarkable teens. So we have two of them here from 2020. It's 2020, right? That was your year, Roddena? 2020, right? Yeah, for the year of 2020. Okay, great. So we have her and we have Shia tonight with us in the studio. And this is Youth Month, so it's a good time to have them here before their, well, I would say their reign is over, because I'm sure there's nominations going on right now for the new batch of Most Remarkable Teens, right? Yeah, for this year. So Roddena Dacosta, her achievement was in the category of academics. And this is her profile. She says, on difficult days when the world is on your shoulders, remember that diamonds are made under the weight of mountains. inspiration personified is the inspiration that Roddena Dacosta exudes. When asked about some lessons learned thus far, she notes that a closed mouth cannot be fed. She has learned this lesson the hard way and is here today as an advocate against negativity as a dictator of one's outcome. Dacosta has had an early brush with the harsh realities of life and understands the ebbs and flows of the real world all too well. A teen mother at 17 and now 19 years old, she maintains the love that she has grown to experience with her daughter, which gives her strength to endure much, and she has developed a fortitude that allows her to stand against the tides of motherhood. Roddena emanates an air of cool confidence. Her energy is both soothing and calming. Sobering is her testimony that God is to be praised amidst it all. On account of her pregnancy, Roddena was not allowed to go to school for a period of time. The strained relationship with her mother resulted in Dacosta having to turn to employment in an effort to satisfy her circumstances. This was a very trying season for the young Roddena, and she calls periods of hunger and depression. One day she went to collect her baby from the daycare, and the caretaker, Miss Elvira Hobson, revealed to Dacosta that God had revealed a number of things to her, giving her the courage to offer some assistance to Dacosta. Miss Hobson took Roddena in for a weekend to assist her. The weekend stint has now made way for her to call that residence home. Roddena credits Miss Hobson's intervention as a turning point in her journey of hope. The Newcastle Wesleyan Holiness Church is also of great wisdom and encouragement for this teen, where she happily serves as the youth treasurer and dancer. Roddena testifies to the presence of God in her life and recalls many accounts of desperation turned around by an unsuspecting phone call. She is determined to live for God. Dacosta has a message of abstinence and courage to young people. She's an advocate for turning around circumstances and having a grateful disposition. Despite the fact that her plan to return to school did not materialize, she's steadfast and committed to improving her qualifications as a way to advancement. She's currently pursuing English and chemistry studies after work at the CSEC level, and her plans include becoming a motivational speaker and the best mother she can be for her daughter. She's an advocate for counseling and encourages adults to take inwards. If given the opportunity, she would like nothing more than to inspire youth and teen mothers to continue to defy odds and to improve their situation by fidelity to God and commitment to self-improvement. An interesting point, at the time of her interview, Roddena had chosen between taking her daughter to the clinic and making the interview. The lady who she lived with called her at the last minute and told her plans were cancelled and she could now hold the baby so that she can make the interview. I guess God works in mysterious ways. And so right on the edge of that, we have Shai-Ann joining us. It's okay, Shai-Ann. I already told them that you were on Caribbean time, so you are pleasantly excused. So I'm just going to jump straight into your profile as well, and then we're going to have a conversation with you ladies. So Shai-Ann Tyson, her category is most promising. According to the Oxford Dictionary, to be of promise is to possess an indication of future excellence or achievement. Shai-Ann Tyson is a well of promise, and much is to be anticipated from her journey through life. She's a spirited and multi-talented individual who believes that even though you may lose the battle, you still have a chance at the war. Draped in a cool, calm, and confident exterior, Shai-Ann is bursting at the seams with experience and success in almost every area of teen life. After underperforming based on her opinion in English at the test of standard level, Shai-Ann vowed to never give less than her best at any endeavor. If something is challenging, one ought to work harder at it. Shai-Ann has a glowing academic record, having been able to maintain her place as an A1 student throughout her academic career and being no stranger to the honor roll. At this point, she has successfully sat 2 CXC subjects, attaining grade 1s in both English and EDPM. In both subject areas, Tyson was able to make the SKN merit list with a top 10 placement in English. She's currently doing subjects both in and out of school, and she notes that from an early age she has always had a fascination with schooling. In addition to this stellar record, she's a star athlete with preferences for jumping and track. Her proficiency in this area has warranted that she be the captain of the greenhouse at her school, Gingerland Secondary. Shai-Ann also debates and has represented her school in both the Cultural Mortality and Teen Pageant as well as the National Carnival Teen Pageant in St. Kitts. She has served as student body president for 2 years and boasts an impressive track record of volunteerism. She's a member of the Youth Parliament and has sat at the Youth Tourism Congress. She has achieved much in quizzes and inter-school competitions while still making time to cheerlead. The Shekinah Dance Theatre is also another place to which she calls home, along with the Hanley's Road Community Development Steel Pan program. Evidently, Tyson is an expert at balance. When asked about how she copes with such a multifaceted schedule, Shai-Ann posited that the engagement in extracurricular activities is a way to balance the stresses of academia and teen life. Although she is undecided about her career path, Tyson is very interested in both teaching and schoolwork. She is passionate about combating depression and anxiety, as these are two major issues that she feels negatively impact students' progress. If given the resources, Shai-Ann would facilitate the coming together of young people to help each other work through their problems. To some, this resume may be exhausting and overwhelming. However, the grace and poise which Shai-Ann bears it, all coupled with her positivity and uplifting view of the world, sparks hope and nothing but possibilities in all who experience her. An interesting fact is that Shai-Ann's mom is a social worker, and it's a result of her mother's strength and fortitude that she's interested in social work. So, ladies and gentlemen, again, please welcome Miss Roddena Dacosta and Miss Shai-Ann Tyson to Legendary. Good night, ladies.
Good night.
All right, how are you doing tonight?
Kind of nervous, but
Kind of nervous? Okay, well, shake it off. You know that song? Shake it off, shake it off. All right, you guys, shake it off. Well, we are really happy to have you guys here in the studio. It's been coming for a long time. I know for a fact that when young people have opportunities, sometimes, we just, it's the 25 most remarkable teens, and then you don't see or hear from them again. But I believe Legendary can, be a platform for you guys to share your stories. And so whatever you feel like telling us tonight, you can share that and share that with your community. Whatever passions that you have, we're here for you. So one of the main things that we usually ask our guests is what inspires you. So that's just off the bat. What are some things that just inspires you guys as young individuals? Anybody could go first.
Motivational speaking for me.
what inspires me? My friends, my family, and not wanting to fail.
That's a hard one. Not wanting to fail. Wow, you we'll come back to that point there. Cleon, you have anything to jump and chime in on?
Of course. Good evening, everyone listening and viewing audience. It's indeed a pleasure to finally be back on Legendary. So I am back. I still have a slight injury, some pains and stuff, but nevertheless, I am able to walk again. So I'm very indeed grateful to God. And so I'm happy to be back now in the presence of two of the 25 most remarkable teens. So good evening, ladies.
Good evening.
I am so inspired by your stories and so happy to have you in studio this evening. And so, Roddena, I'm going to start with you because your story is, it touched me somewhat. I was very much inspired by your ability to persevere despite some very challenging circumstances. So can you just tell us briefly, as a teenager, a young person going through those struggles, what was it like? And how were you able to cope with, some of the challenges?
Okay. At first, it was really difficult for me as a young teenage mother because I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't understand anything about being a mother. And it was really hard because I didn't have anybody to like teach me or tell me what to do in such a situation. So it was difficult for me.
Okay, and can you just tell us a bit about your upbringing, like in terms of your parents? That's if you want to share. If you don't want to share, then we'll understand. Okay, so I note from your bio that you had to leave school, so you were not able to continue your education in school. Can you just tell us a bit about that experience?
Okay. At first, because I know that I was a Christian, I was afraid to go back to school. I was afraid of what they would say. So I stopped. And then after I got my daughter, I'm like, she's a girl. I have to do something to make life better for her.
Yes.
So I went out after living with Miss Elvira Hobson. I was encouraged to start classes.
Yes.
So I went and I started class just so I could become someone to help my daughter in this life.
Okay, and I must really commend you for that, for having the courage and the tenacity really to push forward and to continue. And I am happy that Miss Hobson Elvira was able to be there as a support as well as a role model in order to push you forward. And so, Shai-Ann, you are indeed remarkable from your profile, and that's no surprise because I see, one of the legends right here in studio with you, who happens to be your dad. So I am not one bit surprised by your profile. And so I just want to know from you, Shai-Ann, can you just tell us a bit about Shai-Ann? We read the profile, so we know you are an athlete as well as you are an academic. And so, but generally, who is Shai-Ann? What do you like to do?
Well, I would say that I'm a very outgoing person, confident. I like to have fun because I work and I play mixed jack and all boy. So,
Okay.
so yeah, that's me. I don't really know what to say, but
Well, that's well, ladies, we're gonna try to make you as comfortable as possible because it's not, this is not one of the quizzes that if you get anything, you miss a word, you're gonna get X. So you don't have to worry about being perfect at all. Roddena, you talked about you talked about motivational speaking as being an inspiration. So is it that you have a passion to do that motivational speaking, or are there like motivational speakers that you've listened to that have been really like instrumental in inspiring you? And if you have any, could you like tell us like one person or so that you usually listen to?
Okay, my role model who is a motivational speaker, her name is Sarah Jakes. I remember I was going through some tough time as a teenage mother, and I remember I listened a motivational speaking from her that said, "Girl, get up." And that really ministered to me, and I had to tap myself and said, "Girl, get up." So I got up.
So at that point, had you already had your, because I know you just spoke about having your daughter and you wanted to do better for your daughter. So when you heard that motivational speech by the speaker, had you already gotten your daughter, or was this before? Okay.
She was right on the bed.
So I can really understand that because while going through your profile, I saw that you were unable to complete school, and we had just like a little conversation before, and I was there wondering like, wait, they still do that? So I was unaware that here that we still have situations where young teen mothers are unable to finish their schooling. I thought that we let young ladies stay in school up until I guess she's not physically able to do that anymore. And I think if there are any laws or rules or whatever that doesn't support young mothers like that right now in 2021, they definitely need to be changed because I think we've gotten to the point where we should understand that pregnancy, whether teenage or not, is part of life. Once you hit puberty and you start experiencing menstruation, and both of you know what that is, you can get pregnant. And whether it is through experimentation or whatever it is, whatever the situation is that happens with anyone, I don't think anybody should feel ashamed of that. And our education system should make everyone understand that pregnancy is just a part of life, and that people should be supported regardless of that happening. So for me to hear that you weren't unable, or even you personally felt a bit uncomfortable. I felt uncomfortable not wanting to go to school. That kind of touches me and kind of hurts me, and I feel like the society out there should give more support to young teenage mothers. Because suppose you decided, you were ostracized, nobody wanted you, and maybe Alvina didn't take you in, and you were going through your struggles, that you were going to throw yourself off a cliff somewhere. Maybe you get your daughter, and as soon as you got your baby, you left it there. These are things that mothers go through regularly,
Yes.
even without teenage pregnancy. But then with the additional pressure on you, and to see you, overcome that and be here, and be a 25 remarkable teen and going back in school and everything. I'm really glad that you heard that motivational speech, and that help to get you back on your feet. Definitely.
Okay. Shai-Ann, can you just tell us a little bit about how you're able to balance? You're doing a lot of things. You're doing academic, you're doing track and field. You look like a model, so do you do some modeling? I think I would have seen some pictures of you. So do you model as well?
No. That's my beautiful sister named April.
Oh, that's April. Okay.
How I manage? Well, I don't really do track and field anymore because COVID.
Yes.
Not keeping. So yeah. I don't do steel pan with Hanley's Road Development. I do it with the Navy Span Ensemble.
Yes.
So yeah. Going to school right now, it's stressful, but it's not as stressful as high school because 6 less subjects to do. So I feel like I manage my time wisely. I go to steel pan, do my schoolwork. I still have time to go out and have fun.
Okay, I admire that because I remember being in sixth form. And to me, it was still very stressful. I don't know. Actually, what was your experience?
You should know. You should know.
So I don't think I was managing the transition and the balance very well. So I'm happy that you're able to do so.
Yeah.
And so tell us a bit now about your future. Where do you see yourself like in perhaps 10, 15 years from now?
Well, that's a very touchy subject for me right now because I don't really know what I want to do, but all I know, I want to help people and I want to be something important.
Okay, that's a start.
Okay, well,
That's a
you
good
see,
start.
I mean, I can understand that because right now it seems like you're very you're spread thin. You're experimenting, and this is the time for that as a young person. You don't necessarily have to make up your mind because I remember being in your shoes as well. I definitely wasn't as structured as you, but
I know.
I can remember being a teen and wondering what I can do, what am I going to do, and I just have one question for you for now. Do you have time for social media and WhatsApp and all of that with all of this
Yes.
going on?
Yes.
How do you fit it in?
Any little 5 minutes to get you just on your phone, maybe post something on Instagram, on your story, talk to people and just enjoy your life.
Well, I think I think you need to start a time management company, maybe, and give everybody out there tips on how to fit all of the different things into their schedule, because obviously you've been doing a great job at it. So, what kind of subject areas are you passionate about right now?
Right now, sociology and MOB, management of business, those are my two favorite subjects right now. Completely different, but they work for me. That's what I'm kind of interested in right now, and I think that's what I might lean towards in the future. So, yeah.
So, about sociology, what are some of the things that you've studied that you might see in the communities here in Nevis that you want to get into really? I saw you speaking about issues like, was it anxiety? Yeah, and depression in young people. So how do you think you can help them to deal with those kind of issues?
Well, in school, learning more and more about those specific areas and then seeing those a lot, like it's very apparent in young people today. I feel like knowing and learning about them will bring awareness to them, speaking more about them, because in Nevis that's a kind of hushy
Yes.
area to talk about, and people don't really want to talk about it because they don't see it as serious, but really and truly it's a very serious topic. So I feel like learning and sharing that kind of information will bring more awareness to them, make people say, hey, this really happens, let's try to help those in need, let's try to put an end to people having depression and anxiety.
And I really appreciate that. I wish you were in my class when I was back in the day, because even though I do have anxiety issues, and I see a therapist about it every now and again, but mental health is something that people don't necessarily take seriously. Roddena, you also mentioned depression, going through like depressive states and stuff like that. If it's not too sensitive a topic, could you like tell us some of the ways that you were able to cope with when you were feeling like really down?
Okay. When I was feeling really down, like I said, I normally watch Savage X Robert, and it kind of helped you to really get up. So it wasn't that hard, but I was depressed to the point where I just wanted to end everything.
And was that like when you initially got the news, or when you initially figured out about the pregnancy, or like more after, like when you weren't going to school and you were probably
okay? I think it started when I got it. Actually, start when I don't have the baby. Like the crying, you don't used to this, so it frustrates you because you to be depressed. You want to show with the child, and you even want to show with yourself. So it was really depressing for me, being a teenage mother.
Well, I'm not a psychologist, but that sounds kind of close to like some postpartum depression. It's like a situation that a lot of mothers go through.
Yeah,
after
certainly.
Pregnancy, right?
Yes. It's sometimes you're unable to recognize it. I remember going through postpartum depression with my first son, and I didn't know what it is or what it was, and so I just remember feeling very emotional, like crying all the time, just being sad. And I think a lot of it had to do with, and I can relate, the pressure of being a new mother. And then you have this baby, and you can read all the books in the world and watch all the internet and listen to all the stories, but when you're actually in this situation, it's very different. And for me at that time, my mother would have died when I was 2 months, so I didn't have, I think I was just missing having my mother there for that support, and so that really caused me to go into a depression. But luckily for me, I was speaking to some friends, and they were able to identify and then be able to give me, some tips as to how I could cope with that. So I can relate to you. And I know for you being a young person with all the pressures, perhaps worrying about what people may say, the negativity, I can, I can really relate to that, and know that must have been a very awful period.
But you see, the thing is that your mommy died, my mother was alive and in the same house, but didn't really tell me, you need to do this, or you could do this. She was just there.
Oh,
Wow.
okay.
And you spoke about, I guess, growing up in a Christian home, or being exposed to Christianity, and you spoke about God in your bio. And I, it, I'm gonna be frank, for a lot of Christian persons, especially when things like teenage pregnancy happens, it's hard on the person that it happened to. But oftentimes in churches here, we put pressure on families and mothers and parents. So the mothers as well are being looked at a kind of way in church, and maybe and so even though she didn't do anything, she has to feel some part of the shame or the blame that people put on other people unnecessarily. Because for me, there's no shame and blame in giving life. A life is something that is powerful. It's good. It's supposed to be a happy part of life. If you look back in history, people were giving birth 12 and 13 because those are the times people were getting married. But as time progressed, we got different in terms of society. So that's why I'm saying, when I saw that you couldn't go to school, I was like, we still doing that?
Okay. Is it that you couldn't go, or you chose not to because you didn't want to have to deal with all that adversity?
I think I chose not to.
Oh,
Okay.
Okay, you chose
Yes.
not to. Okay.
Okay. So, Shai-Ann, we talking, and I want to know, like, your parents' involvement in your life in terms of assisting you in structuring all the different activities that you are engaging and being somewhat of an influence on your life. Can you tell us a bit about that?
Well, I would say my parents are very encouraging, but I am not the child to be like, okay, Shai ain't gonna do this, Shai ain't gonna do that. I am the type to be like, okay, I know I got to do this, so I gonna get up willingly and do it.
Yes.
Not saying they're not gonna support me, because they can support me, but I'm the child that's gonna get up and say, okay, let me go do this.
Okay, that's good. Wow. So your parents practically have it easy, right, Dad? Your father is disagreeing.
Cheyenne, in your profile, it spoke about that low English grade that you got. I want you to run us through that experience and how you felt.
So, I think I was like maybe 12. In grade 6, I got 90s, but that one English grade was like 70 something, and I dropped down my average, and I was so upset about it. I cried for days. Days upon days. And that same day when I saw that grade, I made up in my mind that this would never happen to me again.
But that story is speaking to me, because I also remember this one time. It was grade 6 as well. Everybody in there trying to be bright, because we the A1 and everything, and everybody want to get 100% on what's that. And there was this math test, and I got like 60 something percent on it. And I see the grade, I squash up my paper and try it away. And it was about home time, and the other students in the class reported me to the teacher. I was like, teacher, yes, what you doing with the paper? And this is one of my most beloved teachers, but the teacher took me to the principal that afternoon, and I got licks. So imagine I done get a bad grade, and then I still end up getting licks for it. So I can definitely understand how you feel when you get those grades. But so I really respect that. And so since then, how has your averages been throughout?
Well, throughout high school, you get a little bit more relaxed. You shouldn't get relaxed, but you get a little bit more relaxed. So my grades were always good to me. But like when I hit fifth form, I would say, okay, Shai, this is the time you pull up your socks. Even teachers realize that, yeah, she used to get good grades before, but now them just look hot.
So you're in sixth form right now?
Yes.
Okay. First year sixth form?
Yes.
Oh, okay. So, and you said management and sociology, those are your major stuff. So how did you, are you going to second year now, or are you going into your first year of exams?
We have first year's exams
Coming up. Okay, so how now that the COVID-19 pandemic is going on, how is school? And like how are you guys like dealing with the schedules and things like that?
I mean, sixth form is the same thing, normal full day. So you don't have no half days like how the high school will have it. But school, even, I don't want to say, but school kind of dead. Like, not really going on in school. It's just walk, flat, home, bored.
So I guess you have more time then to maybe scurry away to social media and do your Twitter posts and
Yes.
things like that. Okay, so y'all please find more work for Shai-Ann to do.
I think it's because they're not able to do extracurricular activities like sports and things like that due to COVID.
Yeah,
So.
because I was really excited to go to sixth form to the debating thing, but
So,
COVID just
but
messed me
but but couldn't they do that virtually though? Leeward Islands debating virtual debating competition. I think that would have been that would have been good.
They probably can. They probably can.
Yeah. Okay.
They can, but they won't.
Oh my. and so is it Roddena?
Roddena.
Yes. So Roddena, I want to ask you just a little bit about what is your feeling being chosen as one of the 25 remarkable teams? Were you expecting it, and when you heard about it or they reached out to you, how did you feel?
I didn't expect it, but I felt important.
Superstar.
I felt like I win $1 million.
Okay, and do you know why you were chosen?
Did I? You know, I never asked the question.
Because I think it's a nomination process where
Yeah.
anybody so if you're listening out there tonight and you want to nominate one of the 25 most remarkable teams, because I think they're accepting nominations right now actually, you just have to nominate a person. I think you can contact the Department of Youth. There's a form that you fill out. You nominate them for a category, and you basically state the reason why you're nominating them, whether it's for like social work, or for some people ability to overcome because they've been through a hard situation and you see them going through it, academics, high performance. So it can be any area that you see a young person in your community excelling at, and you believe that they deserve to be recognized for it, and you can just nominate them, and then I think they select 25 of you guys through the Family Federation. I was so pleased to see 8 persons. It's 8 of you guys from Nevis for 2020, I believe. 8. I
don't
think it was a
remember
total of
the
8. Yeah, I think it was
Okay.
8 of you guys from Nevis last year. So I was really glad to see that. I'm hoping to see just as much and a lot more this year coming through. So that was really good. So Shai-Ann, how was your feeling when you got the news that you were nominated as well?
Well, all I remember is me being home with my grandmother and then like opening the email and being excited and messaging my father, messaging my mother, and being like, yeah, I'm a remarkable teen, yada yada yada. I was excited, but still have to keep it kind of low key. So
So when you guys went to the award ceremony, because it's in St. Kitts, right? And you guys met the other 25 most remarkable teens. How was the feeling? What was the vibe between the group?
Well, that's how I met Shai-Ann. That's how we started talking. So it was awesome.
yeah.
All right, it seems like you guys are like almost little besties.
But I would say the Nevis people like bonded more. The Nevis
Yeah.
people. Not saying that we didn't talk to the St. Kitts people, but we talked more to the Nevis ones. But I made some friends through remarkable teens in St. Kitts, so I found that as a plus.
Okay, that's good.
Awesome. And so what are some of the activities that you guys were able to do during the course of the year last year?
The workshop.
Yeah, the workshop. Well, I just had an activity recently. I was a volunteer for the youth beach games. It was fun. People's children kind of stressful, but it was fun. I enjoyed it.
Awesome. So the workshop, I think I saw one or two pictures from that. It was an entrepreneurship workshop or something like that, or leadership workshop?
Leadership.
It was a workshop. I think it was more about our youth project,
Uh-huh.
helping us develop what we want to do for our youth project.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think that was basically about youth project.
Okay, so did you guys get that youth project? Have you guys done the youth project already?
No, mine is still in the works right
Okay.
now.
Okay, so each person has to develop a youth project.
Yes.
Oh, okay. And the same thing for you, Roddena? You're
Yes.
still working on yours. Well, I'm excited to see you guys complete that. And if you guys need any help from Legendary, you can contact us. And we'll be definitely here to support you guys. Because it's really good to see young people doing things, doing great things in the community. Roddena, we didn't talk, well, you're working, correct? Right now?
Yes.
Yes. So let's talk a little bit about that. So what's your occupation right now?
I work at the Stepping Stone Nursery.
Stepping Stone Nursery.
Wow.
Okay, and so how do you balance? So I know you do work and school in the evening. How do you balance that, and be the motherly part as well?
Okay, now I have help,
Mhm.
so it kinda a little better than before. So I will go to work. I don't have to worry about in the afternoon because I have a babysitter. The child father will pick up the child, so it's not that difficult at this point.
Okay, so
Anymore.
you have a better support system now.
Yes.
Excellent.
All right, and I know you spoke about in Miss Hobson in the bio and how she assisted you. Could you tell us about that meeting
And she is
and how that
amazing.
went?
If she is listening or viewing, good evening, Elvira. You are truly amazing, and she has a very amazing son who I love, Mario.
Ah,
And I know him from Stony Grove.
Oh, there's a big up to the Stony Grove massive.
Okay, so like we mentioned earlier, depression. I was going through a lot of that, like having a child. So my daughter usually stay with Sister Elvira because she had a little babysitting going on. And I remember one afternoon I came to the door, and she said, I think she said, God showed me something about you. I told me something about you. And then she began to speak, and sometimes you wanted to like close down people, like that is not true, but everything that she was saying, we never had a conversation before. Everything that she was saying was really true. I was going through a lot and I needed support and help. And really and truly, she didn't offer me to live there. She said, you can come for the weekend. And a weekend seems like it turned into a lifetime.
Wow, that's amazing.
And she's very supportive to my daughter. I can say she's a good mother figure in my life.
Mm-hmm.
Everything I'm in, she will show up and show off. She's authentic.
Awesome. And Miss Hobson, big up, super props to you. We have to get her in on the studio at some point to hear about her legendary story as well.
Yes.
But definitely, and those are the kind of persons that, that's the kind of society of people that we should have, generally around, because you never know what somebody is going through.
That is true.
Sometimes you might see something or feel something, but you never know. And for her to be inspired by God to really, reach out to you and help you in that situation, and to see how far you've come and you've grown. And I'm looking at you. When I came in tonight, I was looking at you. I was like, this young little business executive, very well poised, nicely dressed and everything, all
I got that from
professional and
her.
everything. Look at that, So you see, we have these role models, we have
Yes,
these
yes.
persons inside of the community, and we have persons who can benefit from it and become stars. As you said, you felt like a millionaire when you were selected. And so, Miss Hobson, definitely super big ups to you and props to you for that.
Yes. And so, Shai-Ann, I know we just want to talk a little bit now about your teenage experiences. Of course, there would be very different to mine. So I want to know what's going on, what's the trend. And so just tell us a bit about some of the you mentioned before that the depression and things like that, anxiety, those things are not openly discussed in society and they are somewhat hushed down. Can you expound on that a little bit?
Well, especially through high school, I have a lot of classmates experience these things, and to see these things happen right in front of you, your friends wanting to kill themselves, actually trying to kill themselves, self-harming themselves. It wasn't good. It wasn't a good thing to watch. So from that, it made me care more and want to talk more about depression and anxiety. Because just to see your friends go through those kind of things, it wasn't pleasant. So I just wanted to be a big voice and talk about it.
So, how about like counseling? Like, cause I think these schools have guidance counselors and stuff. I guess I'm getting deep into it now. Are the students, and I'm asking both of you, do you think students are comfortable speaking to the guidance counselors that we have at the schools right now?
I'm gonna be realistic right now. No. I went to Gingerland, so no in Gingerland, yes. Miss Algesia back, big up yourself because this one's for you. She's amazing, very trustworthy, and you feel like you could go talk to her about anything. Maybe previously you wouldn't feel as comfortable to talk to a guidance counselor. Maybe you feel more comfortable to talk to teachers, because teachers up there are very loving.
Yes.
Very loving in Gingerland, and that's one thing I appreciate about that school.
All right, so Gingerland High School teachers, big up yourself, and the current guidance counselor, big up yourself. But Dina, did you go to Gingerland as well, or Charleston?
Charleston.
So what do you think is the feeling in Charleston in terms of like counselors and counseling?
I don't know.
Well, before, like while you were there, did you so well, because I don't, so you didn't use it like when you were going through your
No.
and do you know of anybody or any like friends who maybe went to the counselor, or if they were feeling sad they would want to talk to them or anything?
No.
You see, Shai-Ann, you see, you have your platform there, there's some work to do, so tell your friend in Gingerland, your guidance counselor friend, that find somebody nice and trustworthy just like her to put in Charleston. But and I can totally understand it. I went through high school all my life and I never spoke to a guidance counselor yet. I don't think, well, let me don't say me had no issues. Probably had issues, but
I'm not sure if we had them in my time.
but we don't know because it just wasn't part of the thing. Nobody we know we have a guidance counselor, and maybe you hear them talking about family life or something. But you ain't know the guidance counselor actually did anything outside from that.
And that is so true, because I think I remember us having to do something called family life, where we did health and maybe some ethics or whatever, but perhaps they were called guidance counselor, but I just never understood the concept that this was a person you could go and speak to if you had a problem. So I don't think we were educated to that extent. We just saw them as another teacher. Yes.
But I kind of feel like right now the media influences a lot of these social ills, because you see, when it comes to depression and anxiety, that's very hyped up, like on the internet, especially like TikTok and Instagram and stuff. Like, it's kind of, I don't want to say a trend, but it's a trend to some people. Like, it's a serious problem, but yet still some people feel like, oh, I feel sad today, so I think I have depression. Let me go post about it. Which makes no kind of sense.
Yeah, because depression it's not just because everybody feels sad. Sometimes you feel sad for a day or two, or even a week, but it don't necessarily mean you're depressed. A depressive state is more like when you're so sad that you can't even function normally. That's usually when it comes to depression, and when you're trying to self-harm and stuff like that. And I've known one or two persons who told me, they try to cut themselves and this and that and whatever. So I know that those are some serious issues, and I'm glad, Shai-Ann, that you as a young person are an advocate against those things, and you're opening up here on Legendary with us and letting the wider community know that this thing is real and it's happening. So parents, this is my I guess my what do you call it again? I don't even remember the word. I kind of scatterbrained right now. You see, you don't have to be perfect and legendary. But yeah, talk to your kids. Yeah, that's what I want to say. Talk to your kids because one of either your daughter or your son or whoever, or your aunt, your niece or your nephew might be one of Shai-Ann's friends who've said to her or to somebody else, just in general, that they're feeling sad, they're feeling depressed, or they have anxiety, and you don't know because, like me and Cleon, we went to school and X-ray and those kind of things weren't the things that we talk about or we knew about, so we mightn't be able to pick it up. But it is things that are definitely hurting the society, and I show a lot of persons that more mad and angry and acting out and lashing out at school, at home, and in public because they're suffering with these things, depression and anxiety, because trauma is real and it hurts, and you really need healthy ways to deal with it.
Yes, and that is so true because I can remember even my experience as a teacher, and I'm quite surprised to hear that in today's age that so many children are still having to deal with these issues and not being able to have an avenue where they can get consultation and they can be open and be frank. I think our society needs to be a little bit more accepting and accommodating to assisting teenagers, young people as yourself in terms of coping with these types of issues. I know a lot of people may see going to a guidance counselor, even speaking to social services, see it as somewhat as a stigma, and so people may not want to openly express themselves and reveal that they have certain types of problems. And so you spoke about some of your friends and seeing them go through those traumatic experiences. And so how were they able to cope or to have those things resolved? Were they able to go to independent persons to give assistance, or did they just stay and dwell in the depression?
Well, to me, it all started with themselves because you can't let people help you unless you want to help yourself.
Yes.
So it started with them. They reached out to people, tried to get help, and it overcame this depression, overcame the anxiety.
Yes, okay.
And
Excellent.
I also feel like when it comes to these things, it's like persons want to talk, want to open up, but they're scared that, let's say the guidance counselor gonna talk.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think that's a teenage thing. I think it's like maybe a more nervous thing.
Yes.
Oh, that's definitely a general thing.
Or it could be that they open up to someone and the person like betray their trust.
Yes.
They could be close.
Yeah, that's true as well. Because sometimes, and I've said that before, sometimes you open up to the wrong people, even though somebody is close, and you feel like, okay, well, they're not gonna say anything. They say every best friend have a best friend. You know, that kind of way.
Mm-hmm.
So you tell them, thinking that your secret is safe, your situation is safe, but they tell somebody else, and sometimes it's not necessarily they tell them because they want to hurt you. Maybe they want to help, or maybe they say, well, let me tell. I wonder if she could help me find a way to tell, Roddena how to deal with this, or whatever. And then, but that next person don't have the same level of trust, care about you. So then they start to spread it. So I always say, when you hear your story and your words, you put it out there, and not necessarily that you talk to a therapist, because usually the first person anybody talks to here is not a therapist or a counselor. You talk to a friend, a family member, and stuff like that, and they aren't professional. So I usually advocate, if you have a problem and you feel like you need somebody to talk to, and yes, you can talk to your friends. You don't have to let them know every single detail. But if you want real help, talk to a professional, because they're guided by ethics. They're not supposed to bang them out. And I think if they bang them out, you can sue them and make a lot of money. So Cleon, we can sue them, right? If they bang them out? Okay. And Cleon will represent you.
Certainly. So I want to talk about a sensitive topic. I'm not sure if I can engage you guys with that. So, I want to talk about boys and boyfriends and things like that. And I want to know if chivalry is dead. And how do you guys cope? Because I can share my experiences with you guys and perhaps in public some of it. And so I remember when I was a teenager, I remember having little boyfriends and things like that. People who we will say dating. At that time, of course, you may have just been maybe holding hands and you didn't have. I don't think we had cell phones in those time, and certainly no Facebook. And so you would meet after school, maybe by a tree or during school break time, things like that. I see young people now perhaps being a little bit more open in terms of having their little friends. I think parents are a lot more accepting. I don't know. That is over there. But I think so. I do speak to my little son about, if he have any girlfriends. And we have open and frank conversations about those things. And so, Shai-Ann, I just want to know, what is your experience like? Are your parents open? Can you go and speak to them and say, well, mommy and daddy, I like Tim and whatever. Tim and I are friends. Is your dad like, you better not tell me nothing about no Tim?
Well, when it comes to those things, I rather talk to my mother.
Yes.
I will never go to my father and tell him, oh, daddy, me do it this person. No. I will go to my mother and let my mother tell him.
Oh my. And Shai-Ann, why is that?
Daddy have a match up somewhere?
Oh my.
I mean, as a girl, you feel more comfortable talking to your mother
Yes,
about
I
these
can see
things.
that.
Okay.
If daddy find out, I will not tell him. You can hear from mommy. Daddy close your ears.
Yes.
Daddy will make fun, that's why.
Oh, daddy would make fun?
Tease, that's why.
Oh, okay. Well, at least daddy wouldn't get angry.
But how about you?
Well, I would talk to Sister Elvira and she would encourage me not to get indulged in sexual activity.
Okay.
No more child again.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, because you mentioned, I think I read in your profile that you have started now on a path of abstinence, and so tell us a bit about that and how is that working out for you, and for those people who don't know what that is, can you explain?
Well, I don't know anything about abstinence. That's not my cup of tea.
Can you just tell us, what that is? Because I know people might be listening and they don't know, what it is to abstain. And so, can you, if you feel comfortable, just sharing. And how is that journey going for you?
You mean like stop having sex?
Well, basically, it could be like being in a relationship or things like that. So I don't know. Because I thought I saw it in your profile that you said you're now on that journey. So how is the journey coming?
Coming good.
Okay. And that's good, because if you really want to go along, the Christian life, I mean, because you had a daughter at such an early age, perhaps, that is what you're being encouraged to do. But is that something that you really want to do deep down, or you just perhaps feel, oh, it's the right thing?
Okay, something I really want to do deep down, because firstly, the Bible talk about an equal yoke. You're not supposed to be having sex without marriage. I mean, like, you make a little mistake here and there, but still. And if I want to be out there talking to young people and encourage them not to have sex, then I can't be doing it behind closed door and then pop up on the platform saying, you all should leave sex alone, and you want to make sure you are clean so you could talk to them also, so
yes,
you don't feel like guilty talking to somebody about something you're doing.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah, and I really admire that, and I think that's something that a lot of persons struggle with, in terms of, well, even not abstinence, but like being honest, being truthful to the word. You say something here, and you do something else. We have that, and I think that's a problem for a lot of young people when adults, come and they give them, advice. You see somebody down the road and you say, "Oh, girl, don't do this, don't do that, da, 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 da," and you don't get the WhatsApp and the message and the Facebook message, and you don't read the story that she and X, Y, and Z got problem here and there and da, da, da. So you gotta really be careful when you're out there doing those things. So I'm glad that you're on that path. I'm glad that you're able to be steadfast in it as well and be a good advocate.
Yes.
For that. But I kind of want to go back to the boy issue, well, the boy talk, and ask you guys, just in general, what kind of character do you think young girls, what kind of character do you think boys should have that young girls would appreciate if they're having like their little boyfriends or whatever?
Being honest, being genuine, being real. If you mess up, be honest. Don't be on the bush and say, "Me not do this, me not do that." Be honest. Be loyal.
Okay.
Be kind. That's about it.
Okay,
I agree with
nice.
Shai-Ann.
That's nice.
I do. Yeah. Okay, so when we're talking about honest, because I noticed I hear be honest and be loyal. So, what are the guys out there doing now? It's not. I have young, male friends who I want to make sure they get nice girlfriends like you guys. So I want them to understand, because men have a problem understanding women. So we want to understand you guys clearly. So you say be honest and be loyal. What does that mean? And this is an open for you guys can say whatever it is that you need to say. I mean, just once, like no bad word, but you say everything that you need to say.
Okay, for instance, Shai-Ann and I have a relationship, and I might see Cleon. Cleon, and I started to flirt with Cleon and telling her, and maybe she know about Shai-Ann, but I'm telling her, well, me and Shai-Ann got nothing, just a little friend going on, and then, me and Miss Cleon start to vibes, and then Shai-Ann find out, and then I have to find a whole lie to tell Shai-Ann that, Cleon is my friend, even though I tell Cleon that Shai-Ann is my friend.
Oh, wow.
So,
and this time they get up the road and tell you about Cleon, so you don't go back. But it's a whole load of things now,
So we got all those. So we got well, I know here we like to say, we dare with X, Y, and Z. We don't talk about dating, right?
Yes.
We don't, because I don't think we really know what dating means, because you can date more than one person. So are young people dating? Are we dare it?
Just do it. It makes no kind of sense. You're gonna meet somebody you're gonna meet somebody today, and then you talk for 2 months, and they're gonna be like, "You want to?" No. Makes no kind of sense.
Oh my goodness.
So then it's good to keep your options open then, and not take this thing too serious, because then I think it would be better if I hear that you're talking to not just me, but you're talking to somebody else, and okay, I mean you wouldn't feel no way because we just dating and we ain't do it, so you feel like you trust get shut on the word. But even so, still, if I am talking to somebody else, I should say, well, Shai-Ann, me and you vibing or whatever, but I still kind of vibing Roddena too or whatever.
That's why I say you got to be real. You got to be straight up.
And you ain't gonna go down the word and bang up Roddena.
You see, that don't make no sense.
yeah, but you don't believe that Shai-Ann can catch feelings?
Yeah, but that's what I really wanted to ask Shai-Ann. Like, how do you deal with that if somebody come to you? You are interested in a person and you like them, and they come to you and they say, well, Shai-Ann, I know you're not talking, but I really like Roddena. I don't know. How do you asking for honesty, but can you deal with the honesty?
Well, when it comes to them kind of things there, it's like, at least they being honest with you. At least they ain't beating around the bush saying, "Oh, well, I got nothing with she," and just be straight up and be honest. If you hurt your heart, you hurt your heart.
And we have to be open to that,
Yes.
because that is how love is. You're hot and you get up and you're gone.
But
You
I
understand?
think, Nick, that's a challenge, because for the person, the gentleman or what have you, they may not necessarily want to hurt Shai-Ann with their brutal honesty. And so it may not be that they are being deceitful, even though it may appear so. It may just be that they don't want to hurt Shai-Ann. And remember, and I want to ask you though, but for older people like me, I may not know the difference between dating and dating. What is the difference with the dating and the date? Like how do you know?
We don't date.
When
We don't date down here. Dating is when you're just you're going to the movies, and you could go with you could actually go with 2 or 3 different people to the movies one time on a date.
Yes.
And you're feeling out all are different them, but your David is when you and Shai-Ann alone, or you and Roddena alone. Exclusive. That's when you're.
That's more
David.
boyfriend.
So it's not an entanglement, it's exclusive.
Oh no, entanglement is a whole lot of issue. But as Shai-Ann said, I mean, and even it was the same thing, I guess, like when I was going to school, probably just like a few years before. You talk 2 or 3 days and you're there with, you're gone deep down in the thing. So then now you couple weeks later you see somebody else, you can't talk to them, or if you talk to them you get in problems because you jump into things too quickly. And I think we need to talk to our kids as adults.
That is true.
And let them know that it is okay to date and to date multiple people. And when we say date, we don't mean going out there and being intimate and having sex and sexual relations. I'm not saying you can't have sex, but dating is not for that part. When you're more serious and you guys have been maybe on this thing for years and whatever, you can date. There's something I want to ask you guys.
And you're over 18? 18 and over?
The legal age of consent. I think
it's what, 16?
I think it's 16.
Yes.
When it comes to like social media and stuff and bullying, do you guys think that's a real big issue here for young girls especially?
It happens. It happens a lot. And I don't think people notice it happens as much as it does, because somebody might see it as a joke, but the person it's happening to, they might not see it as a joke. For instance, somebody might go, take a funny video of somebody,
yes,
and then post it up on their status, and then somebody scream because that they post it up, and then things go around like that.
And then that's how you find people like cutting themselves because they feel worthless or low self-esteem. That to build up. So.
Wow.
Yeah. So I mean, and that is really serious because even today I saw a video coming out of, I think it was Washi, with like a fight or something, and I was like, I remember when I was, well, we phone had no camera, so we couldn't record, but at the same time, if I was there now, I don't think the first thing I'd want to do is go, well, star, and start recording.
That video really disappoint me because, first of all, it's a girl and a boy fighting. Why is that happening? First of all. And then second of all, the people in them there watching videotape, instead they try to pull off the girl. Because that boy legit lift up the girl and body slam she like this some kind of WWE type thing.
Yeah, I saw it. I was even surprised he even got that far because there was so many students around. I was like, what is break time or lunch time or something? I don't know what the situation was. But those things can be damaging to people because, they hundreds and hundreds of people are seeing this thing now, and you start feel like, you're the worst thing around, like what Roddena said. So we have to show more care, as young people, and be more responsible with social media, because you 5 minutes of fame is somebody else 5 minutes of downfall when it comes to those things. So yeah, but but ladies, thank you guys for going through that with us. Yeah, I appreciate it.
Yes. So now, just back to perhaps your ambitions in life. What plans are you putting in place now? May not be long term, but just immediate plans you're putting in place now to perhaps reach a goal that you have in mind. Could be something simple. I know, Shai-Ann, for you may have what is it, Cape examination coming up in what, May? In 2 months time?
June.
In June? Yeah. So Any little goals or ambition that you have? I'm not sure if Roddena, if you have examinations coming up or well, or anything you just want to achieve. How do you go about setting up your goals or timetable in order to make sure that you accomplish those things?
Okay, for me, I have a vision board that I work with.
Wow, excellent.
I basically have two, 2020 and 2021. I'm still at 2020.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe by 2023 I will reach 2021.
Okay, and tell us, for those listening who don't know what a vision board is and how it works, can you just explain to us how that works and how does it help you?
Okay, like it keep you on a path.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, like you can't forget your vision because I have it right down, and furthermore it's right in front of my face. I know when I get up, you said you're going to do this, you have this right on the vision board. Okay, my vision board is my aim to accomplish whatever is on my vision board. That is why I did it. So that is why I have a vision board.
Okay.
Nice. So, well, you say you see it all the time. Do you have it like in your bedroom? Like, so whenever you wake up in the morning, is like the first thing you see?
I could actually roll over on it. It's on the wall.
Okay, nice.
Close to the bed.
Excellent.
So that's a good thing. Nice. What about you?
I wish I had a vision board. I suffer a lot from procrastination, but
With so much things to do?
yes, a lot from procrastination. But I think it just comes from being lazy. But for me, my goals right now is just to pass my CAPE units, and not only to pass but to get a grade 1, because I know a lot of people don't really get grade 1s in CAPE because this is more difficult. But I feel like once you set your mind to something and say, yes, I'm going to do it, speak it into existence, then you're going to achieve it once you work towards it.
Awesome.
Excellent.
So but listening to you, I know it's important to get grade 1. So you're shooting for the stars. So what happens if you fall on the clouds and you maybe get a grade 2? How do you think that would affect you?
When it came to like getting grade 2s, because I have two of them, it kind of like hurt my heart. But like, you see, with my parents, they're gonna be like, it's only a grade 2. It's still good. You still did wonderful. But like, myself, I can still beat up myself about it. But yeah, it's life. You ain't gonna get all you want in life, but once you aim and once you know you did your best,
Yes.
that's all that counts.
And that's excellent.
Awesome. And that is really encouraging, because there are a lot of persons out there who are high achievers as well, and they develop anxiety. That's one thing, because you constantly want to be perfect, and that just keeps playing in your mind, and it makes you just a little bit, makes you go overboard a little bit. So well, it's important to achieve. It's also important not to be too hard on yourself.
That's something I feel like I struggle with. Like, I'm a person, I like to have a plan. So when I don't have a plan, when I don't have a goal, it kind of puts me in a weird position. Feel like I don't know what I do with my life, but still, I just try to, do good and excel.
Okay.
Awesome.
That's good.
Okay, well, there's another question I wanted to ask you guys. I mean, you're young people, and we're all going through the COVID-19 pandemic. Young or old. I think both of you are, well, you're probably 17 by now, because you're in first thing, but so you can't take the vaccine.
No.
So what you guys are in the, around youth around your age, like 19, 17, 19, 20, what is the feeling about the whole COVID-19 thing and the vaccination that you guys get from talking to your friends?
Well, I kind of feel, right, like when it comes to the vaccine, I feel like people should take it, because I feel like it's just going to help you. I don't want to see it as a bad thing, but I just feel like taking the vaccine. People don't want to take the vaccine, and it makes no kind of sense to me. If I could have taken the vaccine, I would have taken it.
What about you, Roddena?
I don't feel like it's a bad thing, right? But I feel like it shouldn't be forced. So, like, if I don't take the vaccine, you're going to take my job from me.
Yeah.
So I feel like everybody should have an option whether you want to take the vaccine or not. It shouldn't be forced upon you, and I don't think it should pass as any law either.
And I can totally agree with that. I can totally agree with that. I think everybody just needs to be encouraged to do the right thing, as Shai-Ann said. And what about the because you guys have access to the media and stuff. You guys hear CNN and all of these people. We know that we only have one vaccine here, the AstraZeneca vaccine, and there's actually like a risk with it, with blood clots, especially in ladies, and you guys are ladies as well. So like what do you guys think about that in terms of, how does that affect persons thinking about, taking the vaccine?
I mean, everybody feel like the world gonna end. So
I mean, my mentality kind of different, because I feel like it's a kind of dark, but I feel like if you time to dead, no, you can dead now, so it just makes sense to push forward and do your thing and take the vaccine.
Shai-Ann, you're going places.
I know, right? You're going to high places.
She's going places.
You're going places.
And I can understand that sentiment, because it also kind of resonates with me. Everything in life comes with risk.
Yes.
We can walk out this door tonight and walk down the street and somebody do a drive-by. I mean, it's highly unlikely, but that can happen as well. So I mean, I think some people are just too fearful, a little too fearful, when it comes to that. But I think once the science and the data and stuff keep showing us how unlikely those things happen, and my hat goes out to every and any person who might have had negative side effects to the vaccination. But we as we said, we don't know. We never know when it's going to happen. And I think, being a part of something that might help everybody is good, even if you have a small little risk.
And I just want to touch on that, because I think I never really understood the situation that we are facing in St. Kitts and Nevis, where we are trying to reach herd immunity, and we have to reach herd immunity in order for us to be able to open back our borders to tourists, cruise ship, open back our hotels, and get the economy somewhat running again. But if persons are not taking the vaccine, then we certainly would not be able to reach that herd immunity, and so that potentially can have a devastating effect on the economy, because it means that the country may very well have to stay in lockdown for a longer period. We may have to keep our borders closed, and then without that revenue coming in, we are not able to mobilize the economy, and so it does have somewhat of a cause and effect on our livelihood, so to speak. So yes, on one hand of the spectrum, you have the fear of taking the vaccine and then something happened to you, but on the other hand, have the real situation where if you don't, we all struggling right now financially. We see the hardships is perhaps going to have increased depression and anxiety.
Exactly.
And so we have to find that balance. And so yes, I think that persons perhaps need to kind of find a way to deal with the fear. I'm not sure how the government or even the opposition or any other person, any other social groups, how they can help to relieve some of the fears and anxiety that people may have. One of the things I think that we need to do as a country is perhaps have more outreach programs. But what I'm seeing now, even though I say that, and that is being done, people are still not taking the vaccine. And so I don't know, what it would take for us, because I was looking at the news this morning. I was looking at the situation in India, where you had 2,000 deaths from COVID-19 in one day, and for us here in Nevis, we take that for granted, because we were lucky enough not to have not even one death, But at the same time, we cannot keep the borders closed forever. At some point, we have to open, and therefore, in doing so, we are going to expose ourselves to, the COVID disease, the COVID virus, and therefore, at some point in time, our society is going to be penetrated with that, and we may very well have some debt. And so I think people really need to take this into consideration. I know it's not easy. A lot of people, you've seen a lot of things on the internet, on social media. For me, I was concerned about the contents of the vaccine itself, and whether after hearing all these things, it could genetically modify any part of my being. But at the same time, I want the economy, I want things to go back to normal. I want to be able to have, tourists come to see people go back to work. I know many persons who are not working are getting frustrated now. Some persons really don't have any dollars in the bank. They have mortgages, they have bills, water bills, and so I want the place to kind of go back to some sort of normalcy. And I know the only way to do that is that we have to get vaccinated. And also we have to bear in mind that right now we were able to get through COVAX some vaccine, some free of cost. But anything free, you may not have that avenue forever, especially with the pressure from other countries who are really, really dealing with COVID in more of a dire way than us. We really have to take these things into consideration as a country, and we have to find a way to be able to deal with this issue. So perhaps because you guys are remarkable teens, I wish to somewhat encourage you to be able to talk to your friends, use your influence, your star power to be able, to encourage people to take the vaccine, the adults, maybe your parents if they haven't taken it yet. I mean, it's reality. It's reality, and it's very, very difficult. I know, for the leader of the country, because here it is, people are not taking the vaccine. You have it. You want to open. What do you do? I am glad that I am not in that situation where that weight is falling on my shoulders. But at the same time, I am very much concerned looking at the gravity and the seriousness of this situation. Because trust me, we cannot stay locked down forever. We have to open back our borders in order to get the economy moving. So I don't know. What do you guys think? It's risk of vaccine or risk of dying from hunger? Nick?
It's serious.
It's very serious.
It's serious. The thing about it, I think we've had it amazing here health wise on the health side of the pandemic, but we ignored the economic side a little too long. So we made people feel like we really ain't got it bad, but we actually had it bad for more than a year now. And it's becoming more and more important to focus on that side, and I don't want people to get lost about and fight between we ain't have it, so don't really bother, say don't come,
yes,
and stuff like that. It's not that. The health and the economics have to be balanced, because you need to have money to buy food, and food keeps you healthy. Well, you don't necessarily need money to exercise. You could just run up another place. But Rams them up there taking a body enough free food. Like that. You can't walk in Rams and pick up anything and walk out. Or Best Buy or hospitals or wherever you go shop. That ain't happened yet. Until that happen, I think it's important for persons to be able to put food on their tables for themselves, for their young kids, even your guys' friends and stuff. I'm sure you have friends whose mother or father or whoever might have been working for seasons or other places, and they're not working now. They're waiting on the severance and all them kind of things. So you even though you're young, you guys know what's going on and what the struggle is. So I really hope that persons out in the community can do their part and just pitch in, and let's all work together on that. Well, I want to go. I mean, it's coming up close to our time. Well, we usually go until about 10. But what advice, I don't think we asked you guys it, what advice would you give to young women in particular, your age and growing up right now? What kind of advice do you think they should take into consideration? Everybody could
Well,
go.
I feel what I would tell people is use your voice. Don't be ashamed. Don't be scared to use your voice. Let, especially if it's positive, well, only if it's positive. Use your voice. You matter. We all matter. So, yeah, just use your voice.
Awesome.
strong.
Use your voice. Be strong. How about you, Roddena? What kind of, because I think you yourself want to be a motivational speaker at some point, right? So what kind of, motivational stuff do you have for us?
For like young people?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Okay, if you're in a tough situation, get up. It's going to be hard, but try and get up. Like for me, I would say like I used to struggle with low self-esteem, and if there's somebody on the ear or out there struggling with low self-esteem, I would encourage them to watch the Sarah Jakes Robert Girl Get Up. It will encourage them.
That's
Awesome.
that's T.D. Jake's daughter, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, I don't know. Well, I guess because I'm not a girl.
Nick, you're not into gospel?
Oh yeah, I listen to gospel every now and again, but I don't know her much.
Okay.
And Roddena, you spoke about, well, in your bio you mentioned that you're a youth leader in your church. How do you what do I want to ask? How do you work with like the younger persons? 'Cause I guess it's like the young kids and stuff like that. How is that
Yeah.
experience?
Okay. I just try to encourage, I would call them my friend, my brother, my sisters. Like, not to walk down the same road I went down because it's really difficult. I mean, not because, like, I've always heard my grandmother said not everybody have the same luck. Not because the church was there for me mean they're going to support, well, they will support you, but not for you to, they didn't support Roddena to show the younger ones them that if you go and get pregnant, they're going to support you as well. So I would encourage them, don't take part in sexual activities. And like Shai-Ann said, let your voice be heard. Because I don't think, in my church, I don't think I'm the only youth to have a story. I think there are others, but they are afraid to open up.
And I think that's important as well. So, but I'll ask you guys this question: what are some of the challenges you guys think that young people have in terms of actually letting their voice be heard? Because I mean, we have you here on Legendary, so your voice is being heard now, and I'm happy to give you guys a platform. But what challenges do you think other young people might have that doesn't allow them to share, what's going on?
Well, it might be their confidence. Maybe they're not confident in themselves. Maybe they're not confident in their ideas, their dreams, what they want to do. It could also be that they don't have a media, they don't have a platform to let their voice be heard.
Yes.
It could be that backlash from other people. I mean, some people afraid to open up because they're afraid of what society may say about their situation. Or sometimes society think you could deal with situation better than how you dealt with it, but truth to be told, they're not in your shoes
right.
to understand what you are feeling and what you are going through. So I believe sometimes society need to give young people a stage just to express themselves.
Right.
Because expressing yourself do help you a lot.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah, definitely express yourself without judgment, and I think that's what people need. They need to be able to be heard without you coming and saying, "Oh well, maybe get over it," Because
Yeah.
people go away and telling, "Oh well, I feel that." Oh, you feel so far? No. You can't invalidate
Yeah,
the
like if
people
you
and
share your story with
experience.
somebody like, oh, I had a story like that, but not everybody's, it could be similar, but not everybody feel the same pain.
Everybody don't experience the same struggles.
Exactly.
Yes.
So.
The way how you found that you can solve or resolve your situation might not be the way I choose to resolve my situation. Therefore, why hate? Why judge? Makes no sense.
Awesome.
Powerful. So we have a question from the comments on the live feed from JT Taylor. Good evening, Mr. Taylor. And he wanted us to ask you, who are your heroes? So perhaps if I could just start with you, Roddena.
Okay. My hero is basically my role model, Sarah Jakes.
Okay.
My hero is my mom. She's strong, she's independent, and I could just look up to her for anything. Well, daddy too, but mommy did.
We only said daddy car, daddy here.
I think so. You see how she gave her that look like,
Hey.
what that is? I don't want to make him feel too bad. He brought me to the show, so I'm going to be cautious. But yeah, and that's good. That's good that, it's your mom. And indeed, she is a pretty strong woman because she has to deal with a lot and hold a lot. And so I must give her kudos for that. And your pastor, and who's your pastor?
Van Daniel.
Oh yes, and he's my role model too.
Yeah, Pastor Daniel is a very, 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 very interesting
He's my
young man.
hero.
And hopefully,
One of them.
Hopefully, we get
Yes.
him on Legendary soon as
Of
well.
course, we would love to have him on Legendary. So we're sending him an open invitation. Hopefully, he would accept because
Glad I
I
invited
know he
him.
tuned in.
I'm glad I do it because I tried to get him twice already.
Oh, you tried to get him twice?
very early.
Oh my
maybe
Ron,
you
you need
should
to come on the
preach
show.
first, because I know he's trying to get you to do
I
some
know what I'm going to
preaching,
do, man.
so.
I'm going to ask him when I go to church.
I do
Sunday.
exchange.
yeah.
I preach
We
for
gonna-
a sit down.
We're going to batter.
Yes. So okay. Let's just see. Good evening, everyone on the live. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I'm happy to be back. In studio with you guys. And so as we about to reach that final hour, I'm just gonna give you guys a moment to express your final thoughts. Maybe if you want to encourage anyone or say anything. Let's hear from you.
Okay, let me go. For me, if there's any teenage mother watching this, my encouragement to you is, what I should tell you is that you guys are enough. You are worth it. All is not lost. You can get back up, try again, and make something of yourself for your children or child. Do not give up. The race is not over. I remember a time my cousin Malachi Lestra told me the race is not for the swift, but for who endure.
Yes.
Awesome.
My advice, be strong. Don't be afraid to speak your mind. Continue, push on. Excel. Do your best. That's all was needed from you. Doing your best. Because if it's your best, that's all what counts.
Yes.
All right. Well, ladies, it was really, really good having you guys here on the show tonight. You guys are some legendary individuals. So I'm happy whoever nominated you guys for the 25 most remarkable teens, so that we can see you guys and give you guys the opportunity to be here, because it's really been touching from both of your perspectives. You're here from different perspectives. Roddena is here from a teenage mother who overcame, and you're doing your thing. You're a young professional. You're still working on your studies and everything, and you're showing people that no matter what happens, you're not think by those circumstances. You're not defined by those circumstances, and I can see it in you. So I just want to give you that kudos and that props. You're an overcomer, and don't let anybody have it. Anybody tell you anything, call me. I'm good for them.
Yes.
And yes, oh gosh, name Shai-Ann. Yes, same to you. I can really resonate with you and your go get 'em spirit and everything. And like I said, I see great things in the future for you. Definitely great things. You should probably be an advisor to the premier, because I think you're one of those persons who will get things done. But yeah, keep it up. Definitely keep it up. And I wish you all the success in your career and everything. Whenever you do decide to find something that you're super passionate about, but for now, just enjoy the ride. You're young, you're energetic, and you're investing those things in positive ways. So kudos to you guys. If you guys know anybody else who you think would want to come and have their little story here on Legendary, you guys can always let them know and let us know. and we can. Legendary is a platform for everybody. Here's a place that they can bring their voice. If you have anything that you're working on and you want to come and you want to talk about it, you guys are welcome back in the studio. Because as you guys said, you have a voice, use a voice, and you guys can always use it here. Thank you guys really for being on the show tonight. I really had a good time. It was fun sitting down with you guys and talking with you guys. It was awesome and I learned a lot.
Thank you for having us.
Okay.
Thank you.
And yes, just to piggyback on what Nick is saying, it was indeed a pleasure meeting you guys. You guys are indeed remarkable. And so I wish to congratulate you and also encourage you to keep forward on the path that you have chosen and continue to be yourself, continue to be strong, continue to be ambitious, and in everything you do, always remember to put God first. Okay, so pleasure having you. We had a wonderful show. We had so much fun this evening. Thank you so much for coming. And to our listening and viewing audience, thank you guys so much for tuning in to another episode of Legendary. Thank you so much for your continued support.
Oh, you ready now?
Thank you for making 2020 Vision Radio your choice.
Still live?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
You didn't tell me to go. You were still talking.
Oh, okay. I don't know. Yes. So it's a pleasure, and I wish to thank persons like Janice Moore, Auntie Patsy, Birdman, Jetty Taylor. Thank you so much for tuning in, and we look forward to another epic episode of Legendary next week. Thank you so much.
Thank you for making 2020 Vision Radio your choice.
Legendary, promoting the vision of ordinary legends. Tune into 2020 Vision Radio every Wednesday night at 8 p.m. with the Honorable Cleon Stapleton Simmons and Desil Hamilton.
Legendary is a show promoting the visions of ordinary legends, and I am Honorable Cleo Stapleton Simmons along with my fabulous co-host Desil Hamilton.
I am Desil Hamilton. I'm excited as well to be here for Legendary, just to uplift and enhance people and show what people in our society are doing to uplift our country and the nation.
Call in live on WhatsApp via 869-669-7312. Our direct mobile number is 766-7312 and our landline number is 469-7953. Overseas callers can call in on 917-460-2187. Legendary. Live every Wednesday at 8 p.m. on 2020 Vision Radio.
Just like you. If you take a look inside, you see the great things that people do. Some things are just